So today we have 10 fragrances that I personally would pay retail price for. Now luckily for you and for myself, we don't have to do that. We don't have to buy any of these fragrances at the retail price, which is awesome. That's not something that I would recommend that you do. If you're able to save money by shopping through reputable discounters, that's the way to go every time. The only time that you should purchase a fragrance at retail price is if it's only available at retailers or if it happens to be more expensive at discounters. Sometimes that will happen with certain bigger brands where a fragrance on a discounter will be more expensive than the actual retail price. So obviously in that situation, buy it from the retailer. Again, for this video, all of the fragrances that I've selected are more affordable at discounters. However, if it came down to it, I would pay retail price for these in a heartbeat. Basically, that's my way of saying that these here are really, really good, and at the retail price, it would be worth it. Now, if you do have interest in any of the scents that we talk about today, they will be linked up down below so you can grab them at that discounted price that I was talking about. We've got some important ground to cover here. Let's just get into it. Bentley For Men Absolute, starting off with the iconic car company fragrance brand. For me, this is one of my favorites. Absolutely love everything about this scent. It's got cedarwood, olibanum, papyrus. It's dry, it's smoky, it's woody, it's spicy, it's masculine. This stuff here is top notch from opening to dry down. Quality, scent, performance, everything is amazing. Now on discounters, I believe this comes in at around like $40, somewhere around in there. Kind of the typical going rate for these Bentley fragrances. If it came down to it, if this was not available at discounters, I would pay the retail price for this one in a heartbeat. It is that good, at least for me. To that point, this may not be for you or for everyone out there. It is dry, it is woody. And I just want to emphasize that because this here is not what is typically being released these days. This is not fitting in with the trendy new fragrances, that's for sure. No bubblegum sweetness, no blue ambroxan, none of that. So if you're just kind of diving into fragrances and you're diving in this time here where you're getting a lot of blue fragrances, a lot of bubblegummy, sweet tonka bean fragrances, and then you try to move over to this, it's gonna throw you off. So make sure you're cautious of that. Next up, Paco Rabanne Pure XS. One of the very, very few Paco Rabanne fragrances that I would pay retail for. Yeah, most of them, no, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't think about it. Obviously, I don't want to have to do that. I have a bottle already, so hopefully I won't need a new bottle of this anytime soon. If it's available on discounters, I'm always gonna get it at the discount price, but if it's not, I'll go buy it straight from them. I don't care. I'm so happy with this stuff. It works so well for me. It captures everything that I want in a scent. And if I had to pay a bit more in order to have this one in my collection and enjoy it, I would do that. Maybe you wouldn't. Maybe it's just me that really likes it, but it works well for me and it's in this video for a reason. Great scent, at least in my opinion. It's got sugar, myrrh, vanilla, liquor, so it's a bit boozy, sweet, sugary, kind of warm. Not really too much of a spiciness going on here, just a nice smooth, creamy sweetness. A bit of a booziness. It's really delicious. It's kind of a gourmand, very inviting, great for fall and winter time. Next up, we have Moustache Eau de Parfum. This guy has been absolutely killing it for me this fall so far. And if you watched my top 10 fall fragrances video, you would know where this one placed, and it did pretty well. If you haven't watched that video, maybe consider checking it out. You don't have to, but you might want to. This one has vanilla, benzoin, pink pepper up top, so it opens up a bit spicy, dries down and works into a nice smooth, creamy, sweet vanilla, a nice powdery benzoin. This is just top-notch, incredible stuff from start to finish. On the designer side, one of the best pickups that you can grab these days. And at discounters, it's pretty affordable. It's not a cheapie, but it's affordable. I don't remember what it is, like maybe $59, $60, so it's up there, and the price I think has crept up a little bit as time has gone on, but it's worth every bit of that price. It's worth every bit of the retail price as well. I would have no problem paying retail for this, and I would probably pay like $100 for this if I had to. I seriously would. The next closest thing to this is Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo, and that actually did come out first, so you could kind of swap that there. The next closest thing to Tuxedo is this, but guess what? Tuxedo is not on discounters by Yves Saint Laurent. It is only available at retail, and it's like $250. I would rather pay the $60 for this at discounters. I would rather pay $100 for this if I had to. This just encapsulates everything that I want in a scent. That's why I love it so much. That's why for me, it is a stunning scent to have for fall. And one that I would pay retail for in a heartbeat if I had to. Luckily, we don't. Moving up, we have Yves Saint Laurent Y Eau de Parfum. A heavy hitter. This one has done really well for itself, for good reason. It's versatile, it's a good performer, it's a great compliment getter, it's a trendy scent. It's one that a lot of people can pick up and smell and love. And by a lot of people, I mean like 99.9% of guys out there will pick this up, smell it, and think it smells great. And while it may be a bit boring, you have to give it to the brand, to the creative directors, to the perfumers behind this one, because really, it's a work of art to create something that universally this many people love. While I could be a fragrance niche snob and drag this through the dirt, I don't, because I actually like it. I wear it all the time and I think it smells great. It's hard to beat. It's hard to not reach for sometimes. There's been times where I've worn it days in a row just because it works, and I really enjoy it in the warmer weather. Lately, I have been reaching for the newest Parfum flanker a bit more, but I still really enjoy the EDP, and if I had to, I would pay retail for it. Now, to be fair, on discounters, it's not usually too far off of retail, so you're kind of almost paying retail at discounters anyway. You're saving, I think last time I saw maybe like a $10 discount, designer discounter price versus retail. This is something like that. Maybe it's a bit more, I can't remember, but you're not saving a ton, but you are saving some. And so, maybe it's a little bit of a given for this video, but whatever. I would pay retail for it. That being said, if you can get it at a discounter and it's still cheaper that way, then definitely do that. But all in all, I think this one is worth having in your collection if you're just kind of building something up. You're starting out and you only have a couple scents and you want to keep adding to it. This is one of those versatile compliment monsters that you should consider adding to your collection. It is a bit more expensive, but the quality, the performance, everything about it makes up for that. Really nice one here. Up next, Dior Homme Intense. A truly amazing creation here. Another one from a big brand that also isn't going to be heavily discounted either. So the discounted price versus the retail price sometimes may not be a huge savings here. It depends on the discounters, the deals they're running, or whatever. But the point is, I would pay retail for this. I would. I don't care. If it was not available at discounters, if I wasn't able to get it discounted, it would be a retail purchase for me. To that point, some people won't purchase a fragrance if it's not available at discounters or if it's not discounted. I'm that way with some scents, actually quite a few of them. Some newer scents from, Tommy Bahama, Tommy Hilfiger, that sort of thing, I would be hesitant to pay retail price for. And some people may look at Dior Homme Intense and see that it's not really discounted all that much and they may not want to buy it. I am the furthest from that. I would pay retail for this anytime. Iris, ambrette, lavender. Smells so good. So classy, so timeless. Amazing scent here. Next up, Luna Rosa Black by Prada. This one's got amber. It's got tonka bean. It's got a floral note in here as well. Really all you need to know is that it is powdery, smooth, sweet, and sexy. It's also very inviting. This is a really nice cooler weather scent as well. One that could be used on a date, an evening out, that sort of thing. This one is not super spicy. It is not super loud. It is not a strong projector. It's a bit more of a refined personal scent, making it good for the situations that I just described, especially a date night. This one could work really well for that. When you're looking for a date fragrance, you don't want something that is going to push out and fill up the entire room. You don't want something that's going to be super spicy and that's going to be kind of abrasive. After all, it's your date. You're going to be within close proximity of each other. So you want something soft and inviting, something warming that will draw her in closer. That's what this one does. From quality to scent to performance, everything meets my standards. Everything meets what I look for in a fragrance that I really enjoy. And I think it's definitely worth the discounted price and also worth the retail price if I had to. We have one of my favorite designer winter fragrances up next, Armani Code Absolu. I am absolutely so glad that this came out because this has blown my mind. Ever since I first got it, I loved it. Even now, I love it more. Tonka bean, orange, vanilla, suede are some of the main notes. It's another one that's smooth, warming, inviting. It kind of has a similar usage for me to Prada Rosa Black, so I won't dive into it too much. I would use this in similar situations that I would wear the Prada. So a date night, an evening out, that sort of thing. And both of those I would wear in the fall and winter time. This one as well also checks off all of my boxes, everything that I look for, quality, scent, performance, that sort of thing. Of course, it has great mass appeal. It's just a home run. It's a winner for me. Maybe it's not for you because we're all different. We all have a different taste. We all look for different things. Some people may want something that projects more than this, or some people may want something that is a bit more spicy than this. And that's great. We all have our preferences. For me, this kind of encapsulates everything I look for, and so it's definitely worth discounted price, and I would easily pay retail price for this if I had to. In fact, I think I did. I think I bought this when at retail when it first came out, and I have not regretted that at all. And let me tell you, I have bought some things at retail price that I have heavily regretted. So when I say that I don't regret it, that's because it's pretty good. This one up next surprises me, and it may surprise you as well. Azzaro Wanted by Night. I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, would I pay retail for this? Like, actually think it through. Would I do that? And I was like, you know what? Maybe that's kind of stupid. Maybe I wouldn't. I picked it up, I sprayed it, I smelled it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I would pay retail for that. I've said this a million, jillion, billion, quadrillion times on the channel. The original Wanted, I don't like. This is not the original Wanted. I don't know why I'm holding it up. The original Wanted, I do not like. I don't even have it anymore. I got rid of it. It's not that it's bad, I just don't care for it. However, Wanted by Night, I really like. I love it. And I've said this before, but when a fragrance brand is able to pull this off where someone may not like the original, but they like the flanker, even when that flanker builds off of the original, they did something right, and that deserves recognition. Because it's not like this is a flanker where it smells completely different than the original. There's still the original Wanted DNA in here. But the encompassing notes that goes along with it is what makes me love this stuff. It's got cinnamon, tobacco, fruity notes, so it's a bit spicy, it's warming, it's inviting, but it still has a fruity freshness. It's just really well done. It's a great scent for fall, a great scent for winter, a great scent to have in your collection. I believe $40 to $45 is where this one falls, somewhere around in there. I could be wrong, maybe it's a bit more, but it's worth that price, the discounted price, easily. That's a great pickup. This is actually one of the better bang for your buck fall, winter fragrances that you can buy. But if it wasn't available at discounters, I like it so much that I would pay retail for it. Running down to the end, second to last fragrance, Bvlgari Man In Black. I'm a big fan of Bvlgari. As a whole, as a designer house. They have a lot of really, really good scents, and for the most part, they kind of fall in the mid-range pricing depending on what it is. Like the Bvlgari Aqua fragrances are all very affordable. Aqua Atlantique is one of the better blue aquatic fragrances that you can buy because of the price point, $40 to $45, and it's one of the strongest performing fragrances that I have in general, much less blue fragrances. So that's a really good pickup for a good price. These man fragrances, Bvlgari Man In Black, and then some of the other ones in this bottle get a little bit more expensive. I don't remember what this one comes in at on discounters, but I know it is discounted, so it is cheaper than the retail price. And it's a great pickup at the price that it comes in at. And it's a great pickup at the retail price as well. I would pay $80, $90 for this any day of the week. It may not seem like much. You may look at the note breakdown and it may seem just okay. But when you smell it, then you realize what's going on here. It's got spices, rum, leather. It's another one that has a bit of an oriental kind of a earthy pop in here. It's got a bit of a boozy touch, nice smooth masculine leather. This stuff is super inviting, super alluring. Grab this one, pull it off this winter, and you're gonna be happy. Last up, Mugler Pure Malt. This one's got whiskey, it's got malt, it's got some other notes, it's got an focus issue. There we go. Not a whole lot to see with these bottles anyway. Not really a fan of these, to be honest with you. I just don't really care for them. It's definitely not something that I like to display front and center on my shelf just because, I don't know. But I am a big fan of the scent. It smells awesome. That whiskey up top smells great. Immediately following that, you get a good amount of sweetness in here. This one for me excels in the fall time. You can wear it in winter as well, but I tend to lean towards some heavier options. This is another one that checks off all of my boxes. And you go down the line from scent to quality to performance, that sort of thing. It checks them all off and it does great. For me, I would pay retail for this one. I think it's very unique, especially coming from a designer brand. Alrighty guys, that's gonna do it for me. That is 10 fragrances that I personally would pay retail for. Again, I don't recommend you go out and buy these at retail when you can get them at a discounted price, so they will be linked down below. Also, if you guys want to get access to these videos in advance, if you want access to bonus top 10s and also some vlogs, I'm just going to start uploading some vlogs, you can check out my channel memberships. They will be linked down below, or you can hit the join button next to the subscribe button. You get different perks depending on the tier that you choose. The top tier, you can get access to a private chat room where you can talk to me one-on-one along with the other members and ask us anything. If you got any sort of questions, if you need some advice, join that up and I'll help you out. And if you join the second tier, that's what gives you access to all the bonus content. If you want to start seeing some day in the life videos, some vlogs, that sort of thing, those will be over there as well. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.